What's up, YouTubers? So it's about 10 degrees here in upstate New York. I wanted to make a quick video because the other day, so I leave my truck running a lot, obviously, when it's cold, and I came out at the store and I noticed that I was leaking antifreeze and it was dripping, and so I started looking, and it was coming from underneath this tank, right? This truck's got like 136,000 miles on it. I've had a few of these trucks, and you don't usually have, I haven't had a whole lot of problems with my previous ones. This one's been a little bit of an exception to that. So I pulled this tank, and I didn't realize at the time, because I've never had any issues with, but actually the overflow, you can see it's pressurized there still. The overflow for this tank is in the middle of it underneath, so you can see it right there. Okay, so I was boiling over a little bit, and that's obviously not a very good feeling, especially if you've ever done a head gasket on a GM engine or any engine. But I've unfortunately have been down that road with like the older 3.1 and 3.8s they put in stuff. So I went for the thermostat first. So here's the old guy. So this is an AutoZone Duralast. What it is on these guys is it's the whole thing. Okay. And it was super quick and easy to change. I took this clamp off with an 8mm, and I took this clamp off with an 8mm. I flipped this breather housing up, three 10mm bolts, hold that guy in there, and 2 clamps. I popped right off, had the new one in. So when you read forums or anything, they recommend draining your fluid down. I had a catch pan. I didn't lose very much fluid. As soon as I pulled this hose off, I immediately put it up in the air and then bent it back around into here, and I might have lost like a cup tops of antifreeze. So to me, that I would rather pay for a little extra antifreeze than to go through crawling underneath and draining. Although I was in the shop doing it that day. You wouldn't want to be working outside in this weather. At least the wind's not blowing like it was. The Chevy garage actually did that. Failed to put that back in. So that's quality stuff. That's another topic. So I changed that guy. I topped it off with fluid, and that part was like $78 at AutoZone. They had it in stock, and the guy said to me when I bought it that they sell a lot of those. So I was like, okay, that's probably what ails it, right? Well, that's not what it was. It was still doing it. So I'm worried about head gasket. So then it hits me like a ton of bricks that the radiator cap, and I think of the old metal cap with the spring in there that has to hold the temperature. So this is a 207 degrees according to their website, and the truck was wanting to run 210. So granted, the truck never got any hotter than that. Since it was leaking out of here, out of the bottom of this thing. So I pulled my old cap, and if you see this O-ring right here has actually shrunk down. Okay, and what was happening was this was allowing it to breathe a little bit, and if the system's not under pressure, it's going to change the boiling point or the heating point of the water. So that cap was like 16 something at AutoZone, and that fixed my problem. So and I had it in the shop the next day for inner tie rods and a wheel bearing and an upper control arm, which is odd to me that I keep going through on this truck, because again, I've had these trucks with like no issues, and I'm not sure what the difference is with this one. 2015 Silverado Z71 LTZ. So that guy, that's part number 7046. That's a Duralast. AutoZone stocks it. That fixed my problem. So if I would have went for that at the beginning, I probably would have been fine. Also, I want to mention that I think this old thermostat was not the OEM one. So again, this truck, somebody's fiddled with it. I bought it with just over 100,000 on it. I don't know the complete history, but that was part 81507. So that's changed. That's good for a while. And it was the radiator cap. So if you ever see coolant coming, oh, and what I was starting to say was, while this truck was in the shop getting the suspension parts, they pressurized my system for an hour. It held. So that was a relief that there was certainly no any leaks in any head gasket leaks. So all right, well, my fingers are cold, and hopefully this video will save somebody some frustration. If you're dealing with the coolant coming out of that, I would go for that less than $20 cap first. 1 minute change, and then I would go for that thermostat. Again, I think it was like in the 70s for the better one. I always go with a better quality. Probably the same part. I think it's just a warranty thing a lot of times, but it's a mindset. So, and I will leave you all be.